Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie. Oh, it's good to be back after a week hiatus. I know there's a lot of catching up to do, so I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. And just to be absolutely clear, this is my episode review for last Thursday's episode of The Mist, and not for the season finale, which airs later tonight on Spike TV. And you can rest assured I will be watching that and doing a reaction video to that momentarily. But for now, this is my episode review for last week's episode of The Mist. Obviously, if you're not caught up on The Mist by this episode or the last one, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be going into spoilers. So, you have been warned. That being said, things are starting to heat up on The Mist. You know, everything is converging on the mall. We've got Kevin and the video game store guy getting there. We've got a crazy nature lady, Mrs. Raven, and the really crazy police chief showing up as well. Adrian is there along with Jonah and Mia. Everybody's converging on the mall. Alex is accused of murder. Adrian is a rapist and nobody knows it yet. And now Jonah is apparently a ranking military commander from Arrowhead or something. It was quite an episode. I don't think it necessarily topped the week before, where we got the big reveal that Adrian was indeed the one who raped Alex. That was a great episode. Dark as hell, but a great episode. Although this episode had some pretty dark moments. Like, as soon as that guy fell off the ladder and busted his leg, I'm like, okay, the police chief is either going to put him out of his misery by taking out his pistol and shooting him in the head, or they're just going to leave him there. And then when the woman insisted of not abandoning her husband, I thought when she started crawling down the ladder, again, the police chief was going to pull out his pistol, shoot her in the head, and send her body falling on top of him. But instead, he fucking stabbed her, and then she falls, and then they're both slowly eaten by rats. What the hell, man? I mean, gross, and Jesus. I mean, goddamn, I don't think there's any turning back for this police chief at all. Not unless he finally pulls out his gun and puts Mrs. Raven down. I know that sounds messed up to shoot an old lady, but she is fucking nuts. And her influence on people, I mean, he's like the only one of her followers left, but she has got to go. She's just become too dangerous. And so is the police chief, for that matter. The fact that he's murdered people now, it's beyond fucked up. I mean, damn, you know, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in tonight's season finale, if these two will survive, or if one of them is going to die. Please let it be Mrs. Raven. I also really enjoyed how, our characters are starting to all converge into one place. And I really like how things are starting to come to a head, and I can't wait for the next episode. You know, it seems like by the end of this episode, Mrs. Raven, the police chief have arrived. Adrian's already there, and now they've been thrown into the room with Jay. Of course, Alex is accused of murder, and she and her mother are now and Adrian all locked up with Jay. And Jay was glaring at Adrian. Adrian was glaring at Jay. It was like, somebody knows something that they shouldn't. And now, of course, Kevin has just made his way into the mall as well. So things I think, are really gonna, maybe metaphorically or possibly literally explode in the season finale. And I feel like this episode was a good setup episode, setting us up for what's to come and what is hopefully a very promising, satisfying season finale. Maybe we get some answers about the Mist. We get more answers about who Jonah is. Like, what is his story? Why does he have amnesia? Why did he have military experiments done on him if he was a ranking officer? Because as soon as that soldier Wes saw him, like, oh crap, he's going to recognize him from the military base, and he's either going to kill him or kick his ass. And then he kicked his ass, and then instead of like brutally interrogating him or beating him, he instead stands up and salutes him. I'm like, oh, okay, not what I was expecting, but I guess he's a military commander now. So I'm curious about that. And I was also curious if they were even going to bother waiting for Adrian to get Alex and Eve out of the mall, Mia and Jonah, or if they were just going to run off together just to get away from the Mist and everything else. But I am curious to see what's going to become of them and everybody else on this show in the season finale. So it was pretty exciting stuff. I gotta say, I was surprised that Eve did not kill the security officer when she jumped up from behind that pile of pallets or wood or whatever that was. was. Because I feel like if she had killed him, it would have been a real tragedy because another innocent life would have been taken for no reason. Because Gus already killed Shelley, and if Eve had killed the security officer, then it just would have been more blood on the floor. And I feel like that would have added a real sense of tragedy and depth to it. But they didn't do it. He was just winged in the shoulder. But of course, they caught them. And then I do love how Eve immediately suspected Gus of killing Shelley because she's like, "Oh, did you kill her? Is that why you're blaming her?" And then he slugs her in the stomach like, "Shut up. Yes, that's why. Shut up." But overall, good episode. Solid stuff. I am curious now because we have now, in this episode, we saw so many partially eaten bodies and corpses. What I am curious about is if we are going to finally get a good, solid first look at one of the creatures or monsters out there in the mist, or if indeed everything is in everybody's mind. If this of the shit that's out there is stuff that people imagine or hallucinate, or who are struggling with their subconscious on some level. And you know what I did find that was interesting when Kevin was going through his little hallucination period, seeing all those bodies? The guy that he saved Adrian from in the psych ward, the crazy guy, it turns out the crazy guy was right. He was absolutely right about Adrian. He said he was evil, and he was absolutely right about it. Now, he was nuts, but unfortunately, he was right about Adrian. Adrian is an evil, lying little shit. And I don't know if I necessarily want to see him die, but I do want to see justice served upon him in one way or another for his crimes against Alex. And I do hope to see some reconciliation between Eve and Jay once the truth comes out. And maybe we'll see some regret from Eve, how she's treated and regarded Jay. I mean, I guess I can't really blame her because if you were trapped in a building with your daughter and her accused rapist was there, I guess I would be pretty defensive too. So we'll see. But good episode. I'm looking forward to the season finale tonight. I hope you guys are too. Don't forget, is on Spike TV later tonight, probably premiering right now. I'm about to start watching as soon as I'm done recording this. And don't forget to check back later for my 2 reviews of both last week and tonight's episode review of Zoo as well. I will be catching up on those two episodes as well, so watch out for those reviews. It feels good to be back. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later tonight. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.